have just said. And if you saw from...
I'm losing you. I can't hear you now. I can't hear you. I can't hear you. I can't hear you, Fred.
Sorry for that. I'm back. Sorry. So as you have seen from the poster, I was just saying that we have an exciting topic, which is reducing urine culture and sensitivity from 36 hours to 12 hours. And I'm sure maybe it's something that we want to hear what is it all about. And our speaker today is none other than Taj Habib, and Taj Habib is a renowned author and also a senior medical laboratory officer. And he will take us through this session today. And if you have any concerns, as I said, you can just come on the chat box, and we shall be able to address them in the course of the presentation. So Taj, if you can hear me, I'll take this back to you to proceed.
I can hear you loud and clear, but can you hear me and can you see the slides?
Yes, clearly, Taj.
Okay, okay. Okay, welcome everyone. This is an interesting topic because for time immemorial now, every time somebody comes for a urine culture, and it's usually a lady, they want to confirm whether it's a UTI, and she comes to you and says, uh, I've been told that my results will be ready after 3 working days. So I'm trying to bring this down to 1 working day. So it's a difficult topic. It is not well practiced, but it is very well documented. Studies have been done all over the world, especially Europe and even Uganda. So the essence of this webinar today is to shorten the time from 3 days to 1 day. Can we go to the next slide? The purpose of this webinar is to perform a rapid 2-in-1 identification and susceptibility testing in 1 day. That means you are going to take the urine directly, well mixed urine, not deposit, well mixed urine, and you are going to plate it directly on CLED, and then you are going to put all the enabling drugs for E. coli. So this issue of kuja baada ya siku tatu, we want to reduce it to say kuja kesho uchukue results.
Taj, just to interject a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you able to move closer to your device? We can hear you, but it's a bit low.
Okay, the picture you mean? Do you mean the picture?
Taj, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, we can hear you too, but your tone is a little bit low.
Okay.
So maybe you can just move closer to your device.
Okay.
Or your
Can
audio.
you hear me? Can you hear me better now?
Yes. Clearly.
Much better?
Yes, much better.
Okay, so let's go to the top of the table again. Okay. So Jessica has brought a urine for culture. NAPTEC is saying you can collect your results and sensitivity tomorrow. So Jessica is saying, but I was told to come after 3 days. So the essence of this webinar today is to show that it is possible, and studies have been done, many studies have been done to show that you can do culture and sensitivity of E. coli in 12 hours. Okay, is this better now, Fred? Fred, is this better now? Anyone? Okay, let me just check the chat here. Okay, I don't see anything here. Not audible, the sound, it could be better. It could be better. Better than this. Okay, how about this? Okay. So let's hope I can get it back. Okay. So the next slide says to perform rapid 2-in-1. That means you are culturing and identifying the organism, the bacteria. At the same time, you're doing the sensitivity. So when Jessica brings a urine this morning at 9 o'clock, you are going to do a direct sensitivity on the urine. And then you are going to place the sensitivity drugs on the wet urine. And within 12 hours, you should get the zones and the growth of the bacteria. The system only works when there is one bacteria involved. And in this case, 95% of the cases, it is E. coli. Okay, Fred, confirm you can hear me better. Oh, Fred is gone. Okay. So let's start with specimen collection. Ensure the specimen is obtained via clean catch, midstream, and certain appropriate instructions should be given to women. Transport and handle the specimen properly, refrigerate if delayed, use 0.2 grams of boric acid for every 20 to 30 ml of urine as a preservative. Boric acid is sold in supermarkets, so it's not something difficult to get hold of. Okay, to the next slide. So what is the value? What is the value of this change from waiting for 3 days, and then here we are doing it in 1 day? So the first thing is the doctor who is treating the patient is not, he's using his expertise and his experience to give the right antibiotic. But because now that we are able to give the result in 1 day, he can hold on until the next day and give the correct sensitivity, especially in diabetics. Okay. So normally your strip will show a lot of WBC. Sometimes you will even see nitrite positive. Sponge deposit will show many motile rod-shaped bacteria, and there will be a lot of WBC. So these are the telltale signs that there is a UTI here involved. Mainly the motile rod-shaped bacteria. Fred, are you around? The important thing is to understand that you are using direct, well-mixed urine, uncentrifuged, and you are picking 10 microliters of this urine, and you are plating it directly onto Cled or McConkie. Direct, and then you're applying the sensitivity discs while the urine is still wet on the plate. There is no bacteria there. That will grow overnight or in the next 12 hours. You can't see them. You are not picking bacteria, you're picking urine, 10 microliters. Mix the urine using a sterile 10 microliter loop. You spread evenly for a confluent loan, and then you apply the antibiotics. Incubation, 37 degrees for 10 to 12 hours. You can normally read, and there have been studies to show that you can read the sensitivity in 8 hours. That means if Jessica comes at 8 o'clock in the morning and gives her urine, by 6 in the evening, you should be able to give her the culture report and the sensitivity at the same time. Quality control, you can use E. coli. Quality control, you can compare results direct and the standard methods, and the acceptance is usually more than 90%. So you can do parallel studies on your own, and you'll find this method very, very useful. There are limitations in this method. One, if there is more than one organism, there will be a problem. If the sample is contaminated with the stool or something else, there will be issues. So it has its limitations. It has to be one single organism. These are the studies which have been done, and particularly number 4, this study has shown very clearly that there is a correlation between the direct culture sensitivity method and the standard method we are still using, that is after 3 days. This is the kind of sensitivity you will see. I don't want to go there. So, Fred, are you there? Because I have finished. Oh God, Fred. He can't hear me, I think. Fred?
Yes, I'm here, Taj. I have followed through. I'm here.
So could you hear me throughout the webinar?
Yes, please.
Okay. So would you like me to redo it?
Yes, you can do a recap, and then maybe our members who have joined in late can follow through. And if they have concerns, kindly you can come to the chat box and just bring your concerns. You can begin, Taj.
Okay. So for time immemorial, and even now, most laboratories will tell you that you have brought urine for your culture and you will get your results after 3 days. So I am saying you can tell the patient that to collect his culture and sensitivity results in 1 day. That means if Jessica comes today, 27th, tomorrow, Saturday morning, culture and sensitivity will be ready. This is a method used extensively in Europe, but in a different way. And I'm going to explain to you. Okay, so what we are doing here is a 2-in-1 system. We are culturing the urine at the same time while the urine is still wet on the agar plate, we are putting sensitivity discs there. And then we are letting it grow at the same time, show us the sensitivity of the different drugs. So this kuja baada ya siku tatu is come down to now, come tomorrow and pick your results. It mainly works for E. coli. 95% of the UTI in women is E. coli. So it is very beneficial here, extremely beneficial. Okay. So we're talking about now what you are receiving from the patient. It should be collected in a sterile plastic container. Ensure the specimen is a clean catch midstream, and certain instructions have also to added instructions have also to be given to women. Transport the urine as soon as possible within an hour. If it is not possible, you can refrigerate the urine. If you want longer periods, you can add 0.2 of boric acid, which is as a preservative, which is available in supermarkets. It's not something rare. You can buy it and it's cheap. You can use 0.2 for 30 mLs of urine. It does not interfere with the bug. So what is the value of this direct? One of the values is that you are able to give the results in 12 hours. The other value is that we are trying to reduce antibiotic sensitivity. So this issue of guesswork is going to come out. Most of the doctors are experts, they're experienced, they've got years of studies, and they know which antibiotic is to be given in UTI. But the lab will assist further by giving them the result in 12 hours. This is especially useful in diabetics. Okay. So the urine deposit will normally, urine strip will normally show a lot of WBC, and quite often nitrite is positive. The span deposit will show motile rod-shaped bacteria and a lot of WBCs. Here, the most important thing is to notice the rod-shaped bacteria. Okay. Principle, the method bypasses the primary overnight isolation step. Uncentrifuged urine is plated directly onto the media plate, and the discs, diffusion discs, are added directly onto the wet urine. Usually the direct culture of E. coli typically indicates a urinary tract infection of more than 10 to the power 5. They are normally, if you are using clad, they are yellow colonies. So you need a loop, a disposable loop, or a nichrome loop, 10 microliters, and you plate the urine, raw urine, well mixed, onto the plate on clad, McConkey, Ladega, Mullahington. No, I think I made a mistake there. Mullahington, no. Clad, McConkey, and Bladega, that will be able to identify, especially Clad and McConkey. Then the other things you need are the sensitivity discs. Okay. You mix the urine, take 10 microliters, spread evenly, add the antibiotic sensitivities, incubate. And if the patient, Jessica, has come at 7 o'clock in the morning with the urine, by 5 o'clock in the afternoon, your culture and sensitivity is ready. same day, I'm not even talking of next day, same day, growth is there within 8 hours. If it is a heavy growth, it will be ready. So you can even cut down from 12 hours to 10 hours. Incubate plates, your preliminary readings can be done at 8 hours, and then the final reading next morning. Quality control, there are standard E. coli's. Compare at least 20 paired results, direct versus the standard 3-day method, and see how it goes. Most studies have shown there is acceptance of more than 90% between the two methods. Studies have been done in several areas, but I'm coming to it. The method has limitations. If there is a mixed growth, mixed bacteria, it will not work well, or if the urine is contaminated. These are the studies which have done. Look particularly at number 4. He's done a lot of work. He's done a lot of work on direct sensitivity. Now in Europe, this method is practiced in a different way. It is an automated system. And the liquid media has got different bottles of liquid media have got different antibiotics. And the urine is injected into these bottles, a certain quantity, and let it grows. And within 8 hours, they get the sensitivity because it measures the turbidity of the media. So it is practiced, but on wet media. We are using solid-based media. Okay, this is the kind of sensitivity you will see. See, this one is resistant. This is after 8 hours of incubation. Okay, I don't want to go there without getting permission from Fred. So Fred, I'm ready to take your questions. Hello.
Thank you,
Hello.
Taj.
Yeah.
I hope we've been able to follow through the presentation. And at this point, just want to welcome any reactions. And this,
Okay.
if you want to comment, either you want to be given the mic, I'll give you the mic, and then we can proceed. But you can also interact in the chat box. You can just write there your concern, and then we shall proceed. So maybe I'll begin with Charles. Charles, I'm not sure that you're in a position to speak, but if you are, you can just unmute and bring in your comments. Charles Chepkwony, are you able to unmute and just maybe comment or ask your questions? Charles?
Okay.
Charles, if you can hear me, you can unmute.
Fred, to start with, can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. I have 2 questions here. I can see them.
Okay.
Carry on. You ask, then we do it together.
So, let me read what Charles has written here. Does it mean that the method is only useful in urine samples? What if the organisms are not E. coli? Does it mean this method is to isolate E. coli alone? And then what will you tell the patient if the results cannot be conclusive after a day due to different organisms? That is, if you can't find E. coli. Thank you, Charles.
Okay, Charles, this method is not specific for any particular organism. In fact, in our place, we are using it for wounds. where we have very serious diabetic wounds and we are using it, but it doesn't always succeed simply because if there is more than one organism, you will have a problem. It is not specific for E. coli. This was a study done specifically for UTI in women. That's why we targeted E. coli. But it can grow any organism. Now, the important thing is when you start this method in the beginning, you must continue in parallel with the old method where you are now inoculating on your clad the urine and waiting for the next day for the organism to grow. So if your direct sensitivity is not working because there are more than one organism or there is a contamination, the next plate will give you the answer what to do next. But in 90% of the cases of UTI in women, there is no issue. Comparative studies have been done all over Europe, Uganda, and many other countries. I don't know why in Kenya we are still waiting atekuja baada ya siku tatu. I can't figure it out. There's no need to wait 3 days in most cases. But when there is more than one organism, it has its limitations. But you have a backup. You have already cultured. This is direct. So you culture and also do direct. As I said, it can be used for any organism. We are using it for wound swabs, where we are growing Pseudomonas, we are growing Proteus. But when two of them get together in the wound swab, there are problems. Okay, let's go to the next one. We'll see Helen Wanyama here.
Thank you. So Helen is asking a question, and we'll read it. On the limitations part, do we have to give the patient 2 urine containers? We do urine microscopy first to check if we see mobile rods only or mixed bacteria before we do the culture. Thank you, Helen.
There's no need to give 2 containers. 1 container is fine as long as you tell him it's midstream. And for women, you give special instructions. So the whole idea is to get a clean catch. 1 container, 30 mLs minimum. Now, all urines in our laboratory, and I'm sure in your laboratory also, you do use a dipstick, 10 parameter. We are using 14 parameters, but 10, 11 parameter is standard. Then all urines, about 10 mLs of all urines received are spun at 2,500, and then you look at deposit. So that's a standard procedure that all urines which come into the lab must go through a dipstick, must go through deposit examination. I don't know how it works in your area, but most laboratories all over the world do those 2 things, dipstick plus deposit. So I think we can go to the next one. Hello, Charles. Hello. Hello.
Yes. Thank you.
Are you there?
Yes. Mike, you can come up again. I think your question is not complete. Maybe you can just add the final bit of your question, but I'll go to Wambua. Wambua is asking, is this direct sensitivity testing the gold standard or only for the urgent cases?
Not
Thank
at
you,
all.
Wambua.
Waima Wambua, it is done on daily basis. Why do you want to make a patient wait 3 days to get, or the doctor to wait 3 days to get the sensitivity? By that time, he has already treated the patient anyway. If it is feasible at all, to get the results within 8 to 12 hours. Why do you want to wait 36 hours? Give him the results. Let especially in diabetics, you don't want to wait that long. Because first of all, the immune system is down. So the earlier you give him the sensitivity, especially for serious wounds where there is pseudomonas, it will be much helpful to the patient and a relief to the doctor that now he's succeeding in treatment in a very short time.
Thank you. Thank you. I think there's a question from Amos.
Yes.
Let me start with does it work with other organisms? He has given examples there like pneumoniae and also P. aeruginosa. And then the second one is what is the cost implication on drug sensitivity discs in cases where there is no growth obtained?
Yeah, he's right. Amos, you're right, because there are times it will not grow. So you've lost the discs, but now that's the most, the patient has already paid for it anyway. So I feel there is no great loss there. And it is very rarely, I have not seen one yet, where you have motile rod-shaped bacteria in the deposit, and then you see that the clade has grown nothing. It's never happened. It's never happened. And as far as Pseudomonas is concerned and pneumonia, yes, you can work on those organisms too. They do grow in a day, with direct sensitivity. So I don't see any loss of revenue here, unless if the patient is, before he gave you the urine sample, he has been heavily dosed with antibiotics, then obviously nothing will grow. But then when we are talking specifically in this particular webinar about UTI, then you will not see rod-shaped bacteria in the deposit. There will be nothing. So there are rare cases, I'm admitting, but generally 90% of the UTI, it is E. coli, and you can do a sensitivity and culture within 8 to 12 hours. Now, whenever something like this is introduced, it is important for you to hit the net and see what studies have been done. And I'm given a list of publications. 2, you should try it out in parallel and see what happens. You should experience it. But believe me, it works.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. I think there are a couple of questions here. I'll begin with Mike. Mike Osita is asking. This is Mike. Okay. Okay. What happens to the 10% which are not E. coli? Does the procedure go ahead to identify the pathogen after the initial AST results, just in case the pathogen is not E. coli? And then maybe I can bring the question from Nangila, and who is asking, does it mean that E. coli only resides in midstream urine? Then how about first and last catch? Thank you, Nangila.
Okay, 90% of the UTI issues in women is E. coli. There is that between 5 and 10%, you will get other organisms. Klebsiella is one of them. But I'm not an expert in microbiology. I'm just postulating that try this out because it's being used all over the world except in Kenya. I don't know other countries in Africa, but in Europe, you don't wait for 3 days for culture. No, it is one day. They use liquid media, which has got antibiotic in it. Say about 10 bottles, different antibiotics, liquid media, maybe clad. It's a company secret because it's commercial. And then urine is injected into those bottles, and within 8 hours, they measure the optical density. So if it is turbid, they know now this is resistant. If it is cleared, they know this is sensitive. So it's being used, and it's an expensive system which most of us can't afford in our lab, maybe big labs, but on the whole, all over the country, this system of direct sensitivity, you can implement tomorrow and compare. Sensitivity discs are not expensive. If you get a ring of 8 antibiotics, it's going to cost you less than 50 shillings, maybe 50 to 100 shillings. But the paper impregnated Kirby system is not expensive. So you're not really losing anything. It's a matter of trying it out. The amazing thing is it's working in other countries, and there are papers published. And I've given a list. Me, myself, I use the system. So, Fred, what was the other question?
Thank you. I think the other one was Nangila wanted to know why midstream. Does it mean that E. coli only resides in midstream urine? And then how about first and the last catch?
No. Well, it is a standard procedure in any laboratory that you instruct whenever it's a urine culture, you instruct the patient to collect midstream. It's a standard procedure. And when it is a woman, you have to give extra instructions how to collect midstream urine. So what you're getting is what is in the bladder. You don't want to have the first urine and the at all, because then it might be contaminated. And the last urine, I don't know, maybe Fred can help me there. But in any organization, if it is a good laboratory, they will tell you, bring the midstream urine, MSU, and they'll give you instructions how to collect it. And special instructions will be given to ladies to clean before they collect the urine. But the first urine is not the right urine for culture. Okay. Charles. Charles says he can't unmute. Fred, you're lost.
I'm in touch. I'm in. I'll just bring the other question. Yeah, but I think the standard practice is that usually the midstream urine is uncontaminated, sample.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So, and that's why we usually discard the initial stream because it may contain bacteria from the skin or from the urethra,
Yes.
and only this midstream urine accurately reflects because it's directly from the bladder. So,
Okay.
Nangila, it's just the standard practice because of reduced contamination and of course just for accurate diagnosis.
Well
So
put, Fred. Well put.
yeah, so I'll move to the next one, who is okay. Okay. I'll move to the next one, who is Benson. And Med Benson is saying, thank you, Senior Benson Kidiavai. Thank you, Senior, for the great manual culture technique innovation. How can we compare the automated urine culture systems? Okay. And
How
just
can
given
you
there,
what? How can we what?
compare it
Okay.
with the automated urine culture systems. I think he has quoted one from Halifax and the other one
Yes.
from BD, which
Yes.
says significantly speed up urinary tract infection diagnosis by reducing turnaround time from 24 hours to 3 to 5 hours. Thank you,
Yes.
Benson, for that. Maybe Taj, you can say something about
Okay.
automation.
Now that method from Halifax was a fantastic method. Now I was in Dubai in February, and I met the Halifax people, and they very clearly said they are still working on it. They have not perfected it, but so far it is good. But they actually want to go into another system. But this Halifax you mentioned, I have met them in person. It is in place, the method, but it is not perfect. I think they wanted to introduce it quickly, and they are still working on it. Now, as far as automated system by large companies in Europe are concerned, they are using liquid media with antibiotics dissolved into, say, clad or media. It is in liquid form, and so it doesn't have agar in it, and the other components are there. So and then they put an antibiotic in it, a certain quantity. So they have, say, 10 bottles like that with 10 different antibiotics. Then they introduce raw urine, which in the deposit shows microbacteria motile. Then they wait for about 6 to 8 hours. And then they mix the tubes and they measure the optical density. So wherever there is stability, you know this antibiotic is not working. Wherever there is clarity, you know the antibiotic is working. So that is a very expensive system, which most of us, 90% of us, are in the rural areas. We can't afford in our lab. But this method I'm introducing to you, it's not my method. It's been around for many years. It works tremendously well. And you can tell Jessica to come next day and pick a result. And if you are fast enough, you can actually tell her, come at 6 o'clock today, and you will get your culture and sensitivity. So you will also have another problem, is your doctors are not going to believe you, because traditionally we have been brainwashed that it only takes 3 days. So you will have a problem and questions asked by your clinicians. So you invite them to your lab and show them the sensitivity method. You give them the reference values, and you show them the plate. And they will believe you, but there will be questions asked. How come that I sent the urine yesterday, my patient, and today you're giving me the sensitivity? It's not possible. So you have to convince him. Things are moving fast. 3 days is totally a waste of time. Let's go on.
Thank you for that. And I think I welcome further comments, or if you feel you want to speak, you can raise your hand. I'll be able to give you the right to comment. And then, but if you have maybe questions, we can interact on the chat box as we are doing now, and we shall be able to just read it out and of course, interact. So I think we have covered quite a number of the concerns, but I'll bring one from Helen Wanyama. How should we handle urine for culture specimens? Are we to start with biochemistry urinalysis strips, then do microscopy followed by inoculation onto culture media? I need guidance. Okay, thank you, Helen. I think the question is open to the class, and also anyone who wants to comment, you can just come in. We want to just interact amongst ourselves.
Anyone want to comment? Please go ahead. What is the step-by-step procedure of handling urine for culture? Shall I start my suggestion?
Yes, you can go ahead, Taj.
What I normally do when urine comes, it is processed within an hour. When mixed urine is put in a new centrifuge tube, and the urine container is closed if it is for culture. Now, in the urine which is in the centrifuge tube, which is about 10 ml, I put the strip. Then I spin that urine and I look at the deposit. That's the procedure we follow. Now, the main container is the one now I'm going to use to culture. It's very simple. Other ways people use are different, but it's not harmful also to put the urine strip inside the main container. It won't harm anything because you're only putting it there for 2 seconds. And I mean 2 seconds. If you are doing it more than 2 seconds, you're doing something wrong. So the final thing, the most important thing is to mix the urine thoroughly before you take the 10 microliters to do the direct culture. Fred, just carry on. Fred.
Thank you for that. Yeah, I think I think that's fine. So I don't know whether there is anyone else who wants to comment.
I can see some here from Charles,
But
Corway. There are very
Charles,
many.
no, I think those ones we have already attended to.
Okay.
So I think there is a question here from Patrick Nderito. He's asking about how about the commercially prepared plates? Are they stable in performance compared to the one you prepared in individual labs? Thank you.
Now, my friend, that comparison is outside this webinar. In this webinar, we are trying to just say one thing, that you can cut down your culture sensitivity time from 36 hours to 8 to 10 hours. The comparisons of the two media is something which maybe you can do in-house. Here today, now, we are tackling one thing. How can we give this culture and sensitivity in the shortest times possible to save antibiotic resistance and to cure the patient quickly, and not let the doctor use his experience to just say, okay, I think I'll give you nitrofurantoin. So that is one thing we are trying to do today. I can't help you in that area. But if you are using commercial Bladega or CLED and you are satisfied with it, there is no issue. Maybe you don't have the facility, like we don't have the facility to make our own plates. So we buy directly from Cambridge because they have a huge plant for culture and sensitivity, ready prepared media, and they are very good at it. Fred, all yours.
Thank you. Mike, maybe you can give your comments. You can unmute and maybe just also give your comments. Mike?
Oh, yes. I don't know. Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you, Fred, and thank you to Taj for that wonderful presentation. I was just looking at this, and from where I sit, I think it's a good. Is this a good method for antimicrobial stewardship? Because at least we need to, just give the right antibiotics to patients, so to curb antimicrobial resistance that I know all of us know that's something that is really bad for our society as it stands right
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
still feel also, even after giving out that result, I will give that result without the pathogen ID. Just give the pattern and appropriate antibiotic. Go ahead and do the pathogen identification, because for me, epidemiological surveillance for those pathogen identification is important, because you'll
Yes,
find different pathogen probably having that 5% or 10% above 90% of what causes
yes,
UTIs in women is most likely some other pathogens also, and they will have probably different ST profiles than E. coli, though the interaction usually they interact together and all that. But it's good for you to just do that identification, have that data ready. It will also help for for your epi surveillance, and it's valuable to determine you have to have that individual pathogen ST patterns. It's good for, because I don't think there could be outbreak of a certain pathogen causing certain E. coli in a certain area, which is not the same as what we have in the literatures and what we think, because we know science changes, pathogens, they adapt differently, so anything can happen. So for me, it's a good method to speed up things and curb antimicrobial resistance, but also we should always go ahead and do the pathogen identification, which will take maybe another 2 3 days later, but still that's just my comment on this, and thank you.
okay.
Thank you, Mike Peter, for
Uh,
that.
okay, I just
Thank
want
you.
to comment on him. Uh,
Yes, go ahead.
quality, yeah, quality control. I put the slide on if you can see it. Quality control has been done. Uh, they have compared this. At least this is not to 20. It's 2000. You will excuse me there. Between the direct sensitivity and the standard method, and there is 90% categorical agreement. In a lot of studies, there is a 90% agreement. So it's a matter of, it's a new thing, and it's saying, oh, now we are able to do our culture and sensitivity in one day. That's not possible. I've been taught 3 days, and I've been doing it for the last 30 years. How come Taj is saying now we can do it in one day? So it's something you need to experiment on your own, but publications are there, many, many publications supporting this system, because we have to stop antibiotic resistance. This is the topmost way. Many presentations in Kenya I have seen on webinars about reducing antibiotic resistance. This particular one, where you do direct sensitivity for E. coli or for Klebsiella or for Pseudomonas or for Proteus, even for wound swabs, even for sepsis cases, even this method is very, very helpful to cut the time and to cut the misuse of antibiotics. Nobody mentions this particular mention. I've attended almost all the webinars which were being presented on how does the laboratory reduce the use of resistance. This is on the top list. It will help you tremendously. Although you have to start accepting it. And the only way to accept it is to run it in parallel with your standard technique and see how it goes. But it is being done on a very big level, commercially automated system, which we can't afford. This is a simple, direct system which is not going to cost you more. Maybe a little bit of wastage, like somebody mentioned on antibiotic discs, but it works. The same day, if Jessica can bring her urine 7 o'clock in the morning, by 6 o'clock in the evening, she has already got her culture and her sensitivity. You can actually see the organism there, what it is. It is not difficult. You don't need to do it again to identify the organism. You can see it. If it's Klebsiella, you will see it. I want you to, if possible, try it out. I can't say more. I don't see Fred. 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 Okay, I can't see Fred.
Yes, thank you for that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we have handled pretty much all the concerns and the questions. Taj, you can hear me?
Very well.
Taj, maybe your
Yes.
network, or maybe a participant can confirm if they can hear me. Can you hear me, Taj?
I can hear you clearly.
Very well. So I'm saying I think we have handled all the concerns, and maybe can you see quite a number of us have been able to comment. Charles Mutugi, nice presentation. Penina Washira, thank you for the presentation. Mary Miosioka, nice presentation. Kipkemoi Eric, nice presentation, sir. Bahati Oremve, great presentation. Fred Ottawa, good presentation. Helen Wanyama, thank you for the explanation. I'm good to go now. Thank you, Helen. And I think all of you, we may not be able to read everything in terms of the compliments, but for sure it was a wonderful presentation, Taj, and quite insightful. And maybe I think that is it. We shall just come to the end, and I give you this for your closing remarks.
Okay, thank you everybody for listening to me. I'm sorry in the beginning I was not very well audible. Okay, I have published a book. It is 2,500 shillings and I will deliver it to you to any part of Kenya. If you send me by M-Pesa, 2,500 shillings. The book covers microbiology, hematology, serology. It covers microbiology, chemistry, hematology. So if you feel you would like to buy a book, please feel free. It was published last year, and I'll be glad to send it to you at my cost. The cost of the book is 2,500, and the number you need to send me, the number is 0705 000 I want to thank you all. Please try and use the method. If you are doubting the whole issue, because it's a new thing, you can go to the references I've given. These are the references. Particularly, go and look at Johnson. He's done a lot of work on this, and he's published a lot of papers. And then this is Europe now. This is UCAST. This is the method they are doing. It's called direct sensitivity. It's fully automated now. And they give you culture and sensitivity at the same time. But it is expensive. And it's probably in this country also. I think large hospitals probably have them. I don't know. But you can do your own small thing wherever you are, and you will be able to do direct sensitivity. You are going to get questions asked by doctors. How come the sensitivity is ready in one day. So you'll have to convince him, show him the plate, and show him also the standard plate, and convince him that, look, it is possible. And these are the references. It's not something outside the just by chance. It is something which has been published, researched, and it's working. Thank you all and goodbye. Oh, I've seen some messages here. Hello.
Yeah, I think those are just compliments.
Okay.
From Penina Como, Brian
Yeah.
Muli, nice presentation, and Simon Wambua, nice presentation. So thank you, Taj, for the wonderful presentation. It was quite insightful. And thank you to all the participants who found time and just to listen in. And I think we shall continue to learn together and just improve our day-to-day practice. Having said that, we have come to the end of today's session. And unless you shall have any concerns, you can reach out to us at LMSK. And on behalf of everyone here at LMSK, I want to say thank you and enjoy your weekend.
Thank you too.